I'm Peter Rivera.
Oh, me too.
I'm Ben Vereen.
And I love
StageBuddy.com. And you should too.
Hole in the ground, New York, New York. It's a hell of a town.
Hey everyone, we are here today with Darius de Haas. How's that?
That is good.
Who's going to be doing a show at Feinstein's 54 Below. Darius, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about the show?
Yes, it is called a Bernstein Thing. For those who don't know, this is the 100th centennial anniversary year of Leonard Bernstein's birth. And we are celebrating, they're celebrating it all over the place, not only in New York, but all over the country. And people should come see this show, which I am doing this week on Thursday and Friday at 9:30 at Feinstein's 54 Below, because I think it celebrates his joy, his soul, his passion, and certainly his musicality. I'm very eclectic in my concerts, and I do a cross section of jazz and blues as well as musical theater. I'm a musical theater baby, and pop and rhythm and blues. And I think Leonard Bernstein loved all of those things as well, and he was always searching and reaching for great musical expression, and so that's what we're trying to reach for in this as well. And we're doing everything. We're doing stuff from West Side Story, Candide, blues number that he wrote for Fancy Free that Billie Holiday sang originally. So it's going to be a really, really full, varied, fun evening.
New York, New York. It's a visitor's place.
How do you even start, coming up with the set list?
That is the hardest thing. When I first started working on it, it was like this big amorphous thing, because he was such a prodigious talent. So he, wrote so much, and he had so many interests. Be it in classical, the symphonies, the cantatas, the mass, West Side Story. He just always was writing, and he wrote stuff for friends, and I really had to just go back to what originally influenced me and what caught my ear from being a little boy growing up in Chicago, and that was West Side Story. So you start with West Side Story. I think Maria was one of the first songs I ever really sang, and then I built on that. So there was a point where I was asked to sing Simple Song from Mass, so I said, okay, well maybe I'll interpolate that, and fortunately I've been asked to do some Bernstein Centennial performances elsewhere, so that's helped to inform what I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to take some chances and do some things that normally maybe a guy wouldn't do. I'm going to sing I Can Cook Too, because it just happened to fit right. I Can Cook Too from On the Town. So yeah, it kind of dictated itself after a while.
That sounds like magical, like his spirit was there.
It really is. I don't mean to sound like woo, but it really is that. It's kind of, I was really nervous at first. It's going, oh gosh, there's so much music and so many words, and oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then, with the great help of my musical director, Ted Firth, who has been just an absolute dream, as he always is, with each rehearsal, it's sort of, like I said, it dictated itself, and I said, oh, if you put this song here, if you put that song there, if you put these two songs kind of together, it kind of works. Because, I always have to sort of mess with things a little bit and try to find just the right approach. But I'm very excited about it.
There's something to any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. It may come cannonballing down through the sky, gleaming its eye bright as a rose.
one day at a thrift shop, I was so, surprised. And I was so overcome because I found like a sealed LP of Bernstein conducting Symphony Fantastique, and it was like a treasure. Like I didn't even know he'd done this.
Yeah.
So, in your research and in your immersion in all things Lenny, what's like the biggest, I don't know, maybe the most underrated thing of his that you think people aren't paying attention to?
Oh gosh, I think well in his lifetime, I think he was sort of as greatly loved as he was. I think he encountered a lot of snobism from the classical world for his going into musical theater and loving that. And then I think he got a little bit of clap back, I think, from the jazz world, because I think he loved jazz and everything, but I don't, and he, could try to, sort of improvise a little bit, but, I think a lot of people in jazz were like, oh, really? And so what I hope to accomplish, one of the many things I hope to accomplish with this show, I mean, the main thing, I just want people to see his humanity and to hear that passion and joy and that and realize why he still lives and through different modes of his writing. But I think what hopefully people will discover is like, oh, that tune, which was kind of written as sort of a pastiche musical theater tune, actually can really swing. Oh, that tune, which was written sort of like this kind of sort of hymn, kind of has kind of a lovely flowing art song sort of way to it. I mean, I'm not to be vague, I'm taking his song "It Must Be So" and trying to do something with that's very different from how they did it in Candide. I just think you can't sleep on his prodigiousness in the best way, because he was such a ham. But I'm a ham, so I think it's a perfect it's a perfect mode. But he was so talented and so expansive, and the riches that you gain from exploring this music are endless.
Are you going to be able to show off your dancing skills at any point during the show?
My dancing skills? Well, I hadn't thought about that specifically. Why? Because I'm doing some West Side Story and stuff. No. I mean, there might be dances of joy if I get through some of these lyrics that these mountains of lyrics that I'm singing. I will. It any kind of dance you say, it'll probably be very in the moment and interpretive. So come and see that. You never know, because I am very expressive when I perform, so you never know.
And I like how that sounds. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to invite our viewers to come see your show?
Please come see a Bernstein thing. It is this week at Feinstein's 54 Below, this Thursday and Friday, April 26th and April 27th at 9:30 p.m. It is not too late to come out and enjoy this genius. We are going to have a lot of fun. This show is going to be a lot of fun, and you will not be disappointed. So please come out and join us.
Thank you.
Tonight